The orange stool awaits. You know, you have finally put into music what I hope someday to write in a book, The Art of Surviving. People say to me, gee, you've been around since the dawn of time. Only one man been around longer, that's got to be you, almost.
Together.
No. How many years ago did you first pick up an instrument and go out on the road and perform?
I started when I was 5, playing the violin, classical violin, on stage, in a little tuxedo.
What was the name of the first group?
The Guess Who.
That was the first?
I was 16, just playing guitar. We had another name, which I won't mention, which was Oblivion. And then we had that song, Shakin' All Over. The band was the Guess Who.
Now, these are all Canadian guys at that time?
All Canadian guys who have evolved into BTO, Randy Bachman, myself, Burton Cummings, the Guess Who, the originals, the leftover.
Now, wait a minute.
Are back together in Canada. They have an album out and they're rocking out.
You getting along with them?
Yeah, when I see them. I wish everybody luck and rock and roll forever.
We covered that. That's the gossip part of the world. Yeah. You just said something. You introduced yourself as Randy Bachman, and I was brainwashed to say Bachman because I used to say Bachman. Now, will you please clear up this mess?
I've been brainwashed to say Bachman. I grew up in Canada saying Bachman.
Yeah.
When
you know where I picked that up? On a radio interview you and I did. You said, my name is Bachman, or whatever the heck, and I was correcting everybody.
When BTO came together in about 73, somebody in a bio put how to pronounce it, as if it was Bachman. Now when I'm south of the border, I say Bachman. North of the border, I say Bachman. I'm only too glad to say it. Now, call me anything you want.
Just call him Randy.
Play the record.
Is this an autobiographical album?
Yes, it is my story and how I started out in rock and roll, the late 50s, the first music I heard on the air, seeing the early American bandstands, the Dick Clark tours that came through Minneapolis, Winnipeg. I went to all of those, and how I grew up with rock and roll, and the bands I was in. The survival aspect of it. Don't get too down when you're in a valley. Hang in there. You'll have a hill. You'll be a survivor. And there's a lot of survivors around today. I'm fans of them all.
Name a few. I mean, because there are some people in this audience don't realize that some of the guys have been at it a while.
Paul McCartney, Steve Miller, Boz Scaggs, Peter Frampton, Fleetwood Mac, Kenny Rogers, one of the great survivors.
Can I tell you the greatest line? I heard this line on the radio a couple of weeks ago. 2 13-year-old kids were talking, voice on the air. One said to the other, do you know that Paul McCartney was in another group before Wings? Now, that shows you how far we've gone.
Kids, we were all in other groups.
Hey, you got to strap into all of this gear and stuff?